Yo, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up, Will? What's up, Mozzarella? What's up, Iman? What's up, Bill? You went with Cold Crescent? Not sure I'm following. Wait. Oh yeah, I need to pick up Old Crescent Great Axe with Stormcaller for the running attack swap. Oh, to replace Zamor, okay. Yeah, you don't reach the Poise breakpoint with that, so should be using that and maybe that. Before we start, I want to do a little test. I want to see what does the most damage, like RKR and then one normal, like an RKR hit and then a normal hit, or two normal hits without RKR but with a buff. I want to see like which one of the two does the most. It's not gonna be PvP representative because the RKR nerf is different in PvE and PvP, but I want to do that test also against the player. $2,461. Okay, this is a lot more. A lot more. Alright, we're gonna try RKR today. This one, we're just gonna put BHS for now. Boy. By the way, I got confirmation from a friend that the recent lag that we've had on the game, like in general, it's actually a Cloudflare issue. Like they had to do some repairs, and like there's a lot of places that are affected. So basically, if you're lagging with some specific people, it's the basically the route that are affected. it's not on any people's it's not any people's fault. It's the infrastructures in general, the internet infrastructures that the world runs on. It should be fixed, I think, in the following month, from what I understood. There's two of them here. I think I want big damage. Whoa, I rolled into that. I don't think that's gonna reach. Yeah. Oh my god. This is the perfect bait. Someone fucking fat rolling. I forgot how much of the screen the hammer takes. Got a dedicated shooter here. I think we're gonna keep BHS. These guys actually sent him back. Right there. Oh, a little lag. These fences are very dangerous. It's quite annoying. Jackin, the best way to reach me is through Discord. I'll take a look at what you got. How many? Part 1. I love how every time I throw a pot at these guys, they always fall forward. Never to the side. This is laggy, what the hell? I feel like I dodged it properly the 2 times it clipped me. It was very strange. Giant Crusher has only 2 R1. If you RKR and R1, you get the second R1. It counts as the last hit of your R1 chain. So you can use Twin Blade Talisman to increase the last hit of your R1 chain. That's actually pretty funny. That's good to know for PvE, but like I don't think there's really ever a time where that's useful in PvP. That's interesting. Wait, it looks like 3, no? Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. 6 days away, surely we'll get something soon, right? They're gonna announce it on the anniversary of Elden Ring, dude. It's guaranteed. It's ironclad. Does really good damage, but where's that post at? Does good damage, but if we get someone that's AFK, I think I'm gonna test some damage on them, like heal them if necessary. Alright, he's very trigger happy. There you go. Normally you'd expect them to respect the Giant Crusher with RKR, but this guy just attacks straight up. So might as well do a running attack. Tarnished edition about the shadow drop in 5 minutes. Please prepare. Thank you. Yo, what's up, Steel? How you doing, bro? Came to him in a dream. What's my defense with this armor? Around 30. Not that bad. Because basically I'm wondering if instead of RKR I should just use Bragger, right? Because the R2 for the Crusher is useless, so you know, replacing the R2 is not an issue. And then you have the 10% extra defense on top of keeping a buff active at all times. So I'm thinking that, like right now I'm trying RKR, but I'm thinking that Bragger might be better. Is this a heavy Giant Crusher? Yes. It's not a blood one. Like what I usually go for. Usually go for blood infusion, but this one is a... Save them. This is cancer. Oh my god. Get out of here. This is one of the worst spots you can really invade from. Battling here. Okay, that's one down. He did not even heal and went straight to me. That's crazy. That invasion was gifted, because an invasion in a spot like this is basically like guaranteed loss, almost. Here I'm basically going for pure damage, right? Like we have the two-handed tally, the crouch tally, the, the chest piece for extra crouch damage. I want to try to two-shot as many people as possible with the crouch attack. Oh, already someone here, and he's not using Crusher or anything like that. Nope, you know what? I don't want to play with, like meta stuff today. I'm gonna stick with Crusher. I don't feel like fucking swapping all my armor and swapping weapon. Like, I'm just gonna stick with that today. Well, usually at Veil I'll just swap, but like I don't feel like it today. I'm just gonna stick with that. And also, there's two of them. They could just play each other, really. Like, it's not like they're by themselves and they don't have anyone to play with. They could just fight each other instead. Oh yeah, that's the PvE. Oh shit, look at that. And the BHB ready to go. Locked and loaded. Love how the host just followed suit soon after. AC2 is way more active on PlayStation. Xbox is completely dead. Only max level is even active and nobody wants to play on max level. What is AC2 in that context? I'm sure you're not talking about Armored Core. That's a PlayStation 2 game. Assassin's Creed? No, no way. What's AC2? Ace Combat? Yo, Drunk, how you doing, man? Two V2s are completely dead. Well, usually they're always dead. It's just when some streamer does the 2v2 that they're not dead anymore. So like either, you know, whether it's like Dante, myself, you know, like maybe Alluvial. Otherwise you're not gonna find 2v2 matches, I don't think. Armored Core 2, right? Yeah. So what's AC then? I still don't know. I think it might have been a person in that context. Remember arena battles with your summon Ash? Yeah, that was ass, honestly. It's like that whole thing is basically for people who don't PvP. Air conditioner too? He was bragging he got 2 air conditioners. Must be it. I wonder if you do like PvP with the summon ashes, and you just, you know, when you summon your mimic tier, you just give yourself like only bone bow and like all the talisman to do damage with the Ash of War and the arrows. I wonder if your mimic tier will use like the bone bow Ash of War. Trying to think of like setting up your mimic tier so that you just have like a mimic tier that spams like an attack that has perfect tracking. Like maybe you make yourself a mage and only equip like Store Shower as a spell, and you basically only give yourself a staff. Like you're just gonna have a mimic tier that's gonna spam like Store Shower. That could be pretty funny. I actually reached. can see you there. Oh my god, he's... And if I had like one arrow tally. Interesting that it reached. Good roll. God. Part of me was curious as to like what he was going to do. Not only is Tarnished happening, but it's fixing every issue of the game. Yeah, true. That's what's going on. Yo, FIFO, thanks for the 28 months resub, man. Really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, FIFO. Thanks for still being with me. Yo, Tim, thanks a lot for the resub for 2 years, man. Welcome back. They could be, there's a grace below here. They could be there. Not sure though. Thought he could be hiding like here, but he's definitely below. I think I should be safe here. Guy's by himself. $1,500 is definitely not bad. Oh, there's 3 of them though. I don't think that will kill, but that will be close. Oh, it did kill. Wow. Insane stuff. It's funny how some of the new gankers don't know, like, the stuff we learned from previous games, right? Like in Dark Souls 3 it was the same. When you open doors like that, you can cock block them so that they can't enter. By the way, Firekeeper, someone was asking about the Cloudflare, like, internet worldwide issue that's going on right now. Someone was asking about that earlier. I don't know if you care to explain, like, what's going on. He used the... Oh my god. Oh, kind of fluky there. Getting the BS grab. Oh yeah, that's right, I can't drink my glue. But... I'm thinking, like, with one... I don't even have enough time to take it, guys. Oh my god. And they're harder to finish than they should be. Not even a roll catch. There you go. Alright. Grab not BHS on this, but where is it? Fragger, there you go. I want to compare the damage difference between the two. I think that R2 should have guard frames. Even if it has guard frames, I don't think it really changes anything. It's still a very terrible attack. I guess maybe if it had guard frames, you could like use it to reaction hard counter, like maybe like other slow attacks. I don't know. That flip should auto break any shield. Yeah, that definitely, I agree. Like that attack is like the hardest thing to land. Well, maybe not the hardest, but definitely amongst the hardest. Let's try this. Oh my god, he had like so little HP. And he traded with the bubble. This is so sad. With RKR, Axe Tally, and the Physic, I bet you could easily hit 2k on some people. Yeah, that's true. I think, especially with, like, Mesmer Soldier Spear, like, that charge R2 is a menace. That thing is disgusting. I had a lot of success with, Mesmer Soldier Spear and Invasions, focusing on using the charge R2. It definitely does a lot of damage, and the weapon itself is also quite good, so you have like good ways to finish your opponents after that. Well, here comes another complaint on Reddit. Ruined his playthrough. I guess I was tired today. I didn't really feel like thinking about what I was doing. So a setup like this is perfect for a day like that. You know, just get in there, hit them once or twice, and then be done with it. The same guy? Ooh, this guy stinks. This one too. They're likely waiting for me up there. Yeah. It's the same guy. He's... Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Alright. Why is he activating the tongue again? Oh man. For a second I didn't think... I thought it was someone different. Like when I saw the name, I thought it was someone new, but seeing him again and then fall off. Fucking Rib Bozo indeed. Not gonna lie, you know what would have been nice today? Just Tarnished Edition comes out, and then we can like take a stream like that, take it easy, just do some PvE events like some of the new characters on the new classes, and just chill once in a while. Just a PvE stream. Yo, thanks for the resub, man. Really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Noli. Really see him, but too late. It's funny how he was so eager to run one way and then so eager to run the other way. What spells are good for pure intelligence invasions? You can only make use of Carrion Slicer? Oh, dude. Fucking Gravitational Missile is insanely good for invasions. Probably the best invasion spell. Maybe aside from Great Chaos Fireball or whatever it's called in this game. Giant Flame Stake D, I think. Yeah, Gravitational Missile. Carrion Piercer also. I don't really know the name of the spell, but the one that throws a bunch of white Destructo discs. That one's pretty good. That has like almost infinite range. That's very good for invasions. I think here. What else is there? I mean, the Pebble. Pebble is very good for invasions as well. Because it's low cost, and the idea is you want to keep aggressing at a safe distance. Pebble is great for that. It doesn't cost a whole lot. Because the host is back there, but his friends are here. Okay. Well, he did no damage too. Interesting. Oh! This did 910 with no buff. This did 1274. Oh. Let's try this one. But why is it doing less damage this time? Maybe because he was in hyper armor? Fascinating. So the Bragger did not really do much. I thought though, like, you know, for hyper armor, we know that being in hyper armor, you take less damage, but usually hyper armor from Ashes of War don't reduce your damage taken. I thought he was doing the, you know, the blast. I don't think he should have hyper armor there. Guess we're gonna need to retest it, but whatever reason, we did less damage with Bragger than we did without Bragger. That was very strange. Like 100 less to be exact, which is quite a lot. That's over 10%. I mean, that's probably around 17%, is it? Maybe it was hyper armor in some way. Let's see here. Interesting. We definitely do a lot of damage, that's for sure. Sorry, Midnight. There was a time where I did that back in Dark Souls 3, but I got a lot of backlash for doing that, so I don't do it anymore. Another lone soul. Oh wow. Okay, bye. Oh no, he's still alive. So interesting that he fell there. So close to one-shotting him. Didn't want to fall off though. I was being very careful. Why do you require phone number on Twitch for security? So that people don't make alt accounts, but I guess it's irrelevant with YouTube. But I don't show the YouTube chat on screen though, so. And also, you don't get that requirement if you've been following for like, I think it's like 6 months. So, for all the people who've been following me for a while, they don't get that. So basically that means that it's only for new people or people who make alt accounts. So basically you're either someone who make alts or someone that just started watching me. And I feel like he just spawned at a terrible location, but I'll just see how long it takes to get there. Kind of curious. These mobs don't even look aggroed. Will you ever try Urge Steel Power Stance Dagger with Sacred Blade on Fate build? Yeah, when Tarnished Edition comes out, I'm gonna start playing more with various builds. Like right now, I could technically do it. Like I could just like respec and make an entire inventory, but it's very time consuming to do that, especially for one-offs. And so the plan is to make like, you know, like a Fate build, a Dex build, a String build, make a few builds and have these builds sort of battle ready so that with different stream we can try something that's more optimal for what we're using. Like for instance, right now if today I wanted to do like power stance straight swords, I'm basically like forced to use long swords because that's what my build or my inventory is built around, and I'm on strength build, so you know already it's not the best class to have a power stance straight sword build. And instead, you know, when Tarnished Edition comes out, instead of being forced to do power stance straight sword on strength, well, when it will be the time to use power stance straight sword, I'll be on Fate and I'll be doing like optimal power stance straight sword damage instead. And so I want to at least be able to test the stuff I'm playing with on optimal builds instead of only using it on strength. I mean, I still do it only on strength because it's basically it's less of a hassle, even if it's suboptimal. But obviously, like what you're watching right now with like a giant crusher, obviously I'm gonna get way better result when I'm using like optimal weapons for strength build, basically. But the idea is that we can try more stuff again. And the reason why I'm not making these characters right now is that with Tarnished Edition, the new starting class are more optimal. And so we're going to have to redo all of that when Tarnished comes out if we do that now. So you might as well wait because it's very time consuming to set up characters for PvP. You know, you need to gather all the spells, all the pots, yada yada, you know. There's stuff that you can't get dropped. Also, you know, you need to make inventories for characters. I'm thinking though for inventories, I think I want to make one-page inventory instead of the multi-page that I got going here. I want to go back to one-page inventory, keep it simple, change it every stream. With one page, it's more doable to modify it per stream as opposed to a full-blown inventory like that. It says there's 3 of them. Here might be the people we killed earlier. Not quite sure. We're gonna need some cover here. And while we're at it, I actually win this trade. Insane. We can't commit to much with okay, that's free, we take that. I forgot this guy had no health. We invaded him earlier. The jump attack was definitely my favorite kill here. The guy just stood there. Looking forward to seeing the new setups. Yeah, me too, honestly. It's going to be more engaging for me as well to mix it up a little more. I feel like, you know, we've been like using the same stuff for a little bit now, so like I want to, like, you know, I want to use Rakshasa, for instance. I want to use Gravitational Missile. I want to use some of that stuff that I don't really use often because it doesn't fit on strength. Like, I want to use Catch Flame. Like, I used to love playing Pure Pyro. Like, our first Deathless stream on this game was Pure Pyromancer dressed up as Kevin. You know? I love playing Pure Pyromancer, for instance. But it's something you don't get to play with on strength. Same guy from earlier. Right now we've established that we're gonna do a running attack, so he's gonna be less eager to attack first. Yo, Omegas, that Lido, it sure looks like the closest thing we got. I think I like Bragger more for this since you don't have to, or since you have enhanced stamina and defense. Yeah, for some reason earlier we did like less damage with Bragger than we did without Bragger, so the damage difference is extremely substantial here with RKR and Bragger, but normally I would tend to agree with you. I feel like having Bragger is just better overall than RKR. It's just that so far with RKR we're killing in 2-shot for the most part. I'm not sure we would be doing that with Bragger, because we're reaching like upward of 1000 damage with RKR, and so feels like we only need to hit once and then another one. Whereas I think with Bragger we would have to hit 3 times, but I want to test that for sure. I think Chicken Wing with Holy Grease is the best Colossal. Yeah, for Invasion, I heard that it's pretty nasty on Fate. Same damage, way less weight. Also with Holy, right? Like, you have the strongest buffs with Holy damage. Like, you have that DLC Straight Sword that casts a Beam of Light. I think it does like 20% extra damage in PvP, something like that. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I get some pretty crazy buff. Like, Fate has some serious damage. Yo, Zaton, thanks for the donation, man. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thanks a lot, dude. And strength safest option is Gugs with RKR. I'm finding myself liking Crusher more than Gugs personally, even though like Crusher is more commitment. What's great with Crusher is oh wow, really? What's great with Crusher is the insane blunt damage. This guy took very little damage, speaking of damage. He didn't expect that one. Yeah, this guy can reaction roll at the very least. Still panics, but he didn't expect the the insane range of the backstep attack. Also, Crusher has some nasty ass stamina damage too. The BHS recovery on Guts makes it better than Colossal. You think so? You think BHS Gugs makes it better? It's interesting. I never noticed the recovery difference between the two. It's always weird because in some invasions you would be better off doing the max amount of damage to kill someone quickly, and in some other invasion you'd be doing better with BHS to survive. More often than not, you can't really tell until the invasion's over which one would have been better. You can just jump UGS though. Well, the crouch attack is definitely a lot easier to strafe on Guts, but invasion, it doesn't really matter all that much for the most part. A lot of people have been using that. It's so satisfying to just one-shot them. See, can't do that with Bragger. Three players playing passive against a single invader makes the invasion long. Yeah, absolutely. That's true for every Souls game. But I think Elden Ring's even harder in that regard because Elden Ring just gives way more option with perfect tracking and way more range, so it's harder to single out one player. Like in Dark Souls 3, like as soon as there was like a little bit of distance between two players, like you had an opportunity to get some damage in. In this game, that sort of distance is irrelevant because there's so many attacks in this game that travel a large distance very quickly with perfect tracking, like, you know, like the Wind Dash of War, you know, that lightning spell that we just saw there. And so, even if players are a little bit far apart, you have no window to aggress them because of the range stuff. Like in previous games, the range attacks had a very long wind-up that were much more telegraphed. Here in this one, it's very fast. Everything range is quick. On Dark Souls 3, you also had better backstabs, more consistent. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, in Dark Souls 3, it was a legit strat to kill someone was fishing. In this game, I don't think I would ever consider like fishing to be a viable, optimal strategy to win fight consistently. Like in Dark Souls 3, very often, like what you do is, you know, go for a backstab on someone and then get the wake up, and that would be your kill. In this game, you can go and try to get a backstab on someone if you can, but it's going to be much harder and less consistent to get. And then when it's going to be time for the wake up, they have one free roll, so you have to wait like longer in order to get the wake up you want. But you basically have to catch them on their second roll. So it's definitely not ideal, and it makes it so that you spend more time waiting to get your finisher, and that time waiting is more time for your enemies to get the jump on you and prevent you from getting your finisher. It should be coming from here. Never mind. Fishing made Dark Souls 3 so much fun. Like all the cool backstab techniques. Yeah, I agree. Like this game still has like, if someone rolls away from you unlocked, like it's great to have this consistent like backstab on people that roll away from you unlocked. I think that's great. This one's more consistent on this game, but you know, aside from that, like the pivot backstab in this game is so inconsistent. You can still get them, but you're putting yourself at risk every time you go for it, because what will happen is you'll miss the backstab and you'll get backstabbed back. And so from you outplaying your opponent, you get punished for it. And so even though it can work a few times, because it's inconsistent, you're better off just not using it in the long run, which is unfortunate. I think the roll BS is too strong in this game. I think if you play on PC also, Vale, because of the different input lag, all the backstabs are easier to get. And so I guess I could see why you'd say that, because on PC all the backstab stuff is stronger than on console. To find him. There he is. They're going down the hole, it seems. We're not gonna drink our physic yet. I'm gonna equip the sleep pots and you know what? That's just too easy. That's just playing simple and smart here. Instead of trying to do like any one-on-one, you just close the area with sleep bots and can like guarantee the win, like a checkmate, instead of taking any risk. You get more BSs in Elden Ring than Dark Souls 3 because there's more bad players to fall for things. That's a good point. It's mostly guaranteed on anyone who unlocks and rolls away. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though. Because all you have to do is keep lock on. But from what I've seen, it definitely seems a lot easier to backstab on PC than PlayStation. There's some backstabs that don't really seem probable or reliable at all that I see good players go for all the time there. When you're getting 3v1 with people who know it. I could see that. There's 3 people here. We're gonna have to take our time, I believe. That wave of fists that I see there? Yep, well, I was about to binocular this to make sure, but it won't be necessary. I hope wave of fists can't go through this. You never know with this fucking game. This guy. That was the right time to go for that. I'm thinking. Well, here. Ah, fucking damn it. I think the host is dead. Yep, the host was dead. We almost got one shot by the dragon. Or more accurately, it would have two-shot us. Yo, 6 Unit, thank you so much for the resub for 11 months, man. Really appreciate that. I'm kind of sad that we're likely not gonna get any news for the next From Software game anytime soon. Because we were talking about that the other day. Usually what FromSoft will do, and I mean it makes sense for like any business really, or any video game studio, like they're not gonna announce a project, or they're not gonna announce like 2 of their games at the same time. And so right now we already know Duskblood, you know, is in the works, so it's likely the next thing. So until Duskblood comes out, which is probably like at the end of the year. Oh my god. Let's finish this. Oh, he didn't roll. I thought he would roll. So until Duskblood comes out, we're probably not gonna get any news about anything FromSoft, obviously aside from Tarnished. But Tarnished is basically a re-release of Elden Ring. Yo, Isham, thank you so much for the Prime resub for 17, my friend. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate. Honestly, I hope they don't do like a Dark Souls 3 remaster or remake. I hope we get something new. I would be more excited to play something new than something old. But if they ever do that, I sure hope they're gonna fix the game-breaking glitches, you know, like nerf PK and Murky, and like tweak the game a little bit, you know, like a little balance pass for Dark Souls 3 would be necessary. Because if they just re-release in the way it is now, like, you know, you ask me which is the most unbalanced, like Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3? It's hard to say, honestly. Until recently, I would have said that Elden Ring is more balanced than Dark Souls 3. But recently, I realized that Clean Rod BHS is actually the best weapon, no contest, so now I'm on the fence a little bit. Oh. There's 2 of them. Oh, wasn't paying attention. Let's see here. It's not, I forgot the timing on that. Ah! I panic rolled both times and it would have caught me. Alright, let's try jumping R2. Close. Okay, this is very sloppy. Let's just bait him and then punish. If I can see him, that is. Wow, that should have connected, though. Oh my god. Just kill him instead, then. Oh, I played terrible in this one, but I guess it happens. I think Elden Ring has been far worse PvP in the series. Yeah, I think, you know, that's a different question than balance, though, Castle, but I agree with you. I think PvP-wise, like experience-wise, I think Elden Ring is the worst in the series. You know, mostly because of the player limit, you know, like you got no fight clubs in this game, no like real dueling community, or smaller one. And same thing for invasions. The areas also, you get no dedicated PvP areas. So like the whole PvP experience is like reduced because of that. And so no matter how you look at it, I think history would prove you're right, Castle. But when it comes to balance, Elden Ring is not the worst balance-wise, I think. At least in the state it's in right now. Oh my god, the bell saved them so badly. Yeah, I agree, Castle. I think you're absolutely right. I think one of the biggest issue that this game had, like right from the get-go, is how they handled Poise was really half-assed. The Poise in this game never was properly implemented and made no sense in the context of what they were doing. It's like Poise in the earlier games made sense in a way that they just played differently. Like in this game, you would have been better off with a Dark Souls 3 type system where you just stun every time, except for like a few edge cases, which are like, you know, thrusting swords, daggers. Maybe those shouldn't stun every time, but everything else, there was really no reason to ever have it the way we have it now, basically. I think they're up here, or could they be here? No, I don't think so. Oh, it's only one guy. Oh. Oh. I thought we were about to see the whole cutscene, but... I'm having a hard time seeing him. Because my weapon's just too big. Okay, 2-shot. That's not bad at all. 1900 2-shot. I know my opponent will attack out of hitstun, but I'm forced to roll away. Yeah, that's like one of the biggest issue of this game. Like hyper armor starting too fast, losing priority. It makes it so that very often the player who has the better neutral game is not the winner. Like it's usually people who make the best decisions after they get hit that come out on top. So like if you're able to guess what your opponent is doing instead, you're gonna have an easier time than someone who has a better neutral game. Like basically, you know, like it's better to like be the one who does an R2 out of hitstun than winning neutral. Kinda. On Elden Ring, getting hit starts a mix-up? Yeah, basically. In a lot of cases, as stupid as this sounds, it's actually the case. Elden Ring forward momentum with Dark Souls 3 Prio would be kind of nice, yeah. Obviously, like, again, like, weapons like thrusting swords and daggers, these should not, like, stun on every hit, otherwise that would be way too broken, but, you know, like, I also think that Bloodhound Step and Quick Step need a rework in this game. Like, they're still too strong. Like, it's mostly the recovery cancel that's a problem, but... I mean, that's nothing new. Like, we knew that from the very beginning. It's just that I didn't think it was that bad anymore, but I was wrong. It's still problematic, unfortunately. Oh. How many of them we... Oh, it's 2 yellow, so we got 3. And we got a BHB Lord. I will absolutely take that. Instead of having to deal with the 3 of them, just get the easy kill. And then get it over with. By the way, about the comment who says that conceptually you like that you have to mix up in mind game, it's more rewarding than just swing first compared to Dark Souls 3. The problem is that statement is misleading and false. Because in Dark Souls 3, like, swinging first does not guarantee that you just won. And swinging first is not what you want to do, because the motto of Dark Souls 3 is swing first, lose first. That's the motto that we all agreed is the truth for Dark Souls 3. Swing first, lose first is how Dark Souls 3 works, so it's actually the exact opposite of what you just said. I don't know if you ever heard that motto, but everyone who played Dark Souls 3 know very well that that is the case. But either way, once you get the first hit on someone in Dark Souls 3, you got 2 choices. Either you confirm your damage. If you hit someone first, either you confirm your damage with the follow-up, and then you basically lose your ability to roll catch them, because after that, it's going to be easy for them to get out of whatever you do. Like, sure, sometimes there are pseudo combos, like straight sword R1, R1, R2, but if you're decent at the game, those are easy to avoid, really. But the choice is, either you confirm your follow-up hit, like you got the first hit with the R1, either you do your confirmed follow-up to get the damage, or you start a roll catch chain expecting your opponent to panic roll. And so there's a real effort that you have to do if you want to get roll catch chains, and you are sacrificing guaranteed damage in order to roll catch chain someone. So it's not even always the best thing to do, because if your opponent reaction rolls the follow-up because it's very doable, then you effectively limited the damage that you could have been doing by winning neutral. And so what you do is it's all on the attacker. Like, once you got the first hit, you're rewarded with, you dictate the aggression that's going to be going on in the exchange, whereas Elden Ring is the opposite. You get the first hit on someone, now they can attack you out of stun and you have to back off. And so you got the first hit and you're getting punished for getting the first hit in the first place. That's not right, and that favors or that hinders aggression. So it's definitely not a good thing to hinder aggression. And so it's very difficult, for instance, in a game like Elden Ring, to use like some of these small weapons that do low damage, because they can't do any roll catch or they can't do any sustained pressure. So the fact that they do low damage, it makes them useless, because you're basically doing low damage resetting, low damage resetting, low damage resetting. Whereas some of the bigger weapons, you know, it's funny because in the case of the Crusher here, it's one of the few keeps priority, so you can keep attacking and you do insane damage. So in the context of invasion, for instance, the amount of effort that's required for me to kill a squad or an opponent while I'm invading with this straight sword is so massive compared to this. It's completely lopsided. And that's not because the straight sword has a bad moveset. In fact, purely speaking about moveset, the straight sword has a better moveset. It has a better crouch attack. You know, it has like decent running attacks, you know, good R2. Like, the moveset for the straight sword is fine. There's no issue with the moveset. You know, even like, you know, the running attacks have enough range. Crouch attack, good fucking jump R2. Like, it has a lot of good qualities. But because it loses priority on every attack but it's R2, you can only use the R2. And it's a very slow attack and easy to roll. Like, probably around the same speed as this crouch attack. Crouch attack is probably a little faster, honestly. And so the risk reward here does not make sense from a gameplay point of view. And, you know, that's probably the biggest issue with Elden Ring right now, aside from the player limit. It's the fact that once you get a hit on someone, you lose priority, and it really hurts weapon, like, or setups like sword and board, you know, like any of these medium-sized weapons that don't keep priority. And it also makes matchups against hyper armor weapons very tedious and unfun. So like if the straight sword is fighting against someone with hyper armor, the hyper armor can mash out of its stun more often than not because their hyper armor starts very quickly. And because your second hit doesn't stun, it leaves you with no other choice but to attack, get out, unless you're basically staggering these R2s. But even with staggered R2s, I think you can, as the hyper armor user, I think you can even R2 out of its stun, out of staggered R2s if you're using like Bogo Tally and like Great Sword or Lance. I think you can do that. So at the end of the day, it's definitely not a great situation. But pointless to complain about now, but we're just concluding, basically. These are like conclusions that we come up with. His friend left. What the hell? Alright, let's see how much damage does this little mage take. Also, hyper armor is super brain dead, unfortunately. Yeah, they really botched hyper armor. It's so unfortunate because I think what happened with hyper armor, it's like they nerfed it, like they nerfed the startup for like Storm Assault and Storm Stomp, right? As they should have had, you know, as they should. But then, like, because the R2s in this game were bad, they buffed the speed of a bunch of R2s, but like I think by accident, because they don't understand what they're doing, they also buffed the hyper armor startup of all these R2s. And so they left the game in a state where they buffed the speed of the R2s without keeping the hyper armor startup as low as it should. And so now you get this hyper armor startup that was previously on stuff like Storm Stomp. Now you get it on the R2s instead, which is not as bad, but it's still pretty damn bad. It says there's 3 of them here. This could be quite dangerous. Not sure if we invaded them earlier, but almost got ambushed. Well, I mean, we did, but it was already over. A bunch of stupid casuals complained about Poise being useless in Dark Souls 3. When we literally had the best Poise system ever. I don't know about the best Poise system ever, because Dark Souls 3 clearly had its flaws. Like, Dark Souls 3 had a completely different problem. In Dark Souls 3, the small weapons were completely dominant over the bigger weapons, because your dagger always stunned. So the complaint that casuals had that they couldn't poise the dagger, I think was actually right. Like, you should not be able to roll catch chain someone to that with a dagger, basically. I don't think so. But on the other hand, Elden Ring went, you know, overboard the other way. Now they made all medium weapons useless, basically, or almost useless, in a sense that like almost nothing keeps priority for medium weapons. Obviously there are exceptions, and funnily enough, these exceptions are Curved Sword and Thrusting Sword. So you know, Curved Sword always being Curved Sword, but I think not staggering on the first hit for fast weapons like Thrusting Sword and Dagger is a good thing, because they're just too fast compared to the rest. Also, like, to be clear, I think Thrusting Sword has other issues. Like, Thrusting Sword has a Bloodhound Step issue, And Clean Rot has a damage issue, meaning that Clean Rot does too much damage in general also. When I fought Green the other day with Lance against the Clean Rot, I think like two of the biggest issues were that the Bloodhound Step basically hard countered any neutral attack that I could do. So he could just reaction reverse BHS anything I was doing. And then when I did get a successful hit, for the most part the damage was very even with the Trusting Sword against the Lance. So already there in previous Souls game or in Dark Souls 3, if you landed an attack with your Hyper Armor weapon, you would have guaranteed another hit. So even if the damage on the first attack was similar, because you got a guaranteed follow-up hit, it wasn't as big of a deal because you were sure to come out on top with basically double the damage of your opponent. Now in this case, it is far from double the damage if you land an Hyper Armor attack against a Trusting Sword. PKCS was the most fun OP meta weapon ever? No. PKCS was pretty brain dead. Like, that's one of the issues with Dark Souls 3. Like, Murky and PK were just way too dominant. It just killed the rest of the game. And they were not very hard weapon to use either. I'd never put PK and Murky as positives for Dark Souls 3. Extremely one-dimensional weapons too. Like, it's just staggered R1s, like, and like your reaction roll catching. It's like it's extremely easy to play with this stuff. I'd never qualify like PK and Murky as like positives for Dark Souls 3 for sure. They most definitely hurt the game more than they helped it, for sure. I don't think there's really any question about that. Okay. Unfortunately, I think that a big reason why we have all these issues in every Souls game is because at the end of the day, FromSoft never really understood what they had on hand with PvP, and I think this whole how a PvP turned out, or how Souls game turned out for the PvP, it's probably like a happy accident. And so like we're always dancing around the man, we're always dancing around what could be the right way to do the PvP, you know what I mean? Like, we're always so far yet so close. Because at the end of the day, it takes some deliberate decisions that are made with a concrete idea of problem solving in mind. And From Software is always shooting in the dark when it comes to PvP. It's always a crap shot. Like, they listen to some feedback, but they don't understand why this feedback was given, for instance. And so sometimes they'll follow it word for word and do a proper fix, and other times they'll try another approach to fix the problem, but that other approach doesn't necessarily make sense, so they make the problem worse. So it's always a little dancing around the problem type of deal. I think I'm gonna bubble up here. God. Yo, it reaches all the way to the other side. Oh wow, the bubble saved me there. Let's try to not get bled here. Oh, that's free. I'm surprised. Honestly, today I feel like a lot of PvEers have not panic rolled the Crusher. Surprisingly so. But yeah, guys, here we are waiting for Tarnished Edition. Game not getting any more patches, and, you know, we're still playing because it's the latest Souls game, and we're probably not going to get anything like this for a while, so it is what it is. Do you do PvP with chat? Yeah, very often I do, but I don't think I'm going to be doing it today because I'm quite tired. The reason why I was playing with this setup in the first place was to turn my brain off a little bit and not really have to think too much about what I was doing. That's so unfortunate. That was frame trap. I guess I could have avoided it by rolling toward the corner, but it's usually risky. What's crazy, we even got the jump on both of them and got them low, but we could not get the finisher. He opted to keep swinging at 1 HP, yeah, and that's what saved them. That's probably the same people here that we re-invaded. I don't think we're gonna have to wait 5 more years for another Souls game, though. You know, if I had to guess, I'd say we're probably gonna get Duskblood at the end of this year, maybe like holidays, around holidays this year. And if not, probably beginning of next year. That's my guess. And that being said, I think the next big Souls game is coming after that. And so we're probably looking at either at the beginning of next year or at the end of next year. So like either, well, I mean, pretty much any time next year should be what you should expect for the next game, the next Souls-like game, because we already know from an interview that their next big Souls project was advanced in development. And it will have been like, I think it will have been 3 years next year. Guys, when was the release date for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC? I know it came 2 years after Elden Ring, so it should be in 2024, right? So what I'm saying basically is 2028. No, I'm saying 2027 because we're in 2026. I guess it could be, I think a timeline that makes more sense is either at the end of next year, so end of 2027, or beginning of 2028. That's the timeline that makes the most sense for the next big Souls game. Because you usually give it like a 4-year window around that. At least for FromSoft, that has historically been their usual development cycle for major games. Some games take less time than that, but usually with the bulk of their team working on one project, it's usually around 4 years. Sometimes it's more, but Elden Ring also happened during you know, the fucking worldwide shit show, so that was a longer development than what they would normally have. I lock onto this guy. Maybe I might die here. Is actually so cancer even if they're completely bad, like oh my god. I had to take a gamble and attack them low. That was my only chance to survive this. You just have no way to reset in a small platform like that. And these invasions are also completely impossible if you're not fighting like horrible players. Like any decent player, you're basically done for. I mean, you can always get lucky, but depends on whether they're reusing assets or not. That's just that's just an ignorant statement, because they always reuse assets. No matter if you think they don't, they always do. Elden Ring, they reused plenty of assets. I mean, they reuse assets for every single game they make, and everyone does that, so you never really get projects that are started from scratch. That's just entirely false. It's just that you're going to get games like Nightreign who are more heavily reliant on previous assets, but that's also why they gave it the name Elden Ring. They basically reused the whole world map. So they had to still do it in the context of this world. But for the most part, whether you're talking about going from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2, or Dark Souls 2 to Dark Souls 3, or 3 to Elden Ring, they always reuse assets. I think we don't have a choice but to, whoa, to go here. Let's board the project. I hit that. This guy was extremely thirsty. What's my favorite weapon class for Elden Ring? I think I prefer Great Spears in Elden Ring. When the game came out, I think my favorite setup was Power Stance Great Spear. Now it's probably Two-Handed Great Spear. A lot of Elden Ring Ash of Wars are one-on-one copies of Dark Souls 3 weapon arts, as an example. Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, like it goes beyond just the weapons. Like when I say reusing assets, what's most time-consuming when you create a game like this is, like, you know, creating all the fucking assets from scratch that you see in the world and all the animations. Dude, FromSoft has a massive library of a bunch of assets that are like, you know, like Victorian style architecture, and even if they're not one for one, what the artists are doing is they're taking a bunch of assets from their previous game and they're just modifying it slightly to fit a next project. And it's true for animations as well. Like when you take like any of the dragon enemies from this game, like most of the animations that these dragons are using are animations from the dragon in Dark Souls 3 Midir, for instance. And so they add some new animations on top of that, but they're building from what they already have. And it's like that with pretty much anything. Now, there are some bosses, for instance, like Godric or Morgoth, that are just like bosses that are created entirely from scratch. So usually the main bosses or the main enemies are some things that are more of an interest point. These things are... Oh, that's Castle. These things are, for the most part, made from scratch, but it's very particular to things that are of notice for a game. Is that dumb that NPCs can only attack hosts, or are you missing something? No, it's just how they make things. I agree with you. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense, but I think, actually, I say that I think the reason why they do that is they don't want, like, your teammate, like your co-op partner, to like troll you and attack your NPCs and basically like fuck up your game. Castle, do you need help for that boss? Oops, not that. I forgot what's the name of the fucking... It's this one. You do? Alright, let me join up. Man, I rarely fought this boss, so I might be terrible, but... There you go, same password as usual. I think I'll change my, I think I'll change my setup for this boss, though. Let's use the trusty you know, my fucking my go-to PvE weapon. Malekith is easy, to be honest. I don't know, I don't really play PvE all that much, so I haven't fought him very often. Alright, Castle, let's do this. Should drink that right now. Whoa! I completely forgot what this boss does. Oh wow. I'm like going in the dark here. It really feels like fighting this thing for the first time. Okay, there you go. Now let's do this. Don't die on me, Castle. Yo! Almost got him, Castle. Stay up. Hold that. Okay, let's finish him. Oh, no. Castle. No, we keep missing the boss. Okay, there you go. I don't know if it counted, though. It's dead. But I don't know if it counted. Did it say you beat him? It worked, we good? Alright, there you go. that's so funny, dude. I haven't fought this boss in fucking probably like maybe 2 years. I think the last time I fought this boss was when Steel and I did the Taunter's Tongue run and we chainsawed it. That was the last time I fought this thing. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna call it here for today though. I was already tired when I started the stream. I think we're gonna keep it there for today. Thank you guys for keeping me company and you know, just chatting with me. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you guys up next time. I might stream tomorrow again, because I didn't stream for long today and didn't stream for 2 days before that. So I might stream tomorrow again. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys for showing up today. Really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys up soon enough. Now, who do we raid? Let's see. See who's on right now. Okay, right now we have Swoosh, Fuji, and Lapis Viper. Okay, let's try Fuji. Alright guys, take it easy and have a good one.